Today we are going to talk about Proverbs chapter 19. Proverbs chapter 19. This chapter, you will learn a lot from it. You will learn a lot from it. So let me begin right away. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 1. It says, "Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than one who is perverse in his lips and is a fool." Verse 2 says that also it is not good for a soul to be without knowledge, and he sins who hastens with his feet. And he sins who hastens with his feet. Verse 3 says that the foolishness of a man twists his way, and his heart fleets against the Lord. Verse 4 Wealth, wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his friend. Verse 5, it says, "A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies will not escape." Verse 6, it says, "Many entreat the favor of the nobility, and every man is a friend to one who gives gifts." Verse 7, "All the brothers of the poor hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He may pursue them with words, yet they abandon him." Verse 8, "He who gets wisdom loves his own soul. He who keeps understanding will find good." He who keeps understanding will find good. Verse 9 says, "A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies shall perish." Verse 10, "Luxury is not fitting for a fool, much less for a servant to rule over a prince." Verse 11, "The discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and it is to his glory to overlook a transgression." Verse 12, it says, "The king's wrath is like the roaring of a lion, but his favor is like dew on the grass." Verse 13, "A foolish son is the reign of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dripping." Verse 14, "Houses and riches are an inheritance from fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord." But a prudent wife is from the Lord. Verse 15 says, "Slothfulness casts one into a deep sleep, and an ideal person will suffer hunger." Verse 16, "He who keeps the commandment keeps his soul, but he who is careless of his ways will die." Verse 17, "He who has pity on the poor lends to the Lord, and he will pay back what he has given." And he will pay back what he has given. Verse 18, "Hate and chasten your son while there is hope, and do not set your heart on his distraction." Verse 19, "A man of great wrath will suffer punishment, for if you deliver him, you will have to do it again." If you deliver him, you will have to do it again. Verse 20 says, "Listen to counsel and receive instruction, that you may be wise in your latter days." Verse 21, "There are many plans in a man's heart, nevertheless, the Lord's counsel that will stand." Verse 22, it says, "What is desired in a man is kindness, and a poor man is better than a lie." Verse 23, "The fear of the Lord leads to life, and he who has it will abide in satisfaction. He will not be visited with evil." He will not be visited with evil. Verse 24, it says, "A slothful man buries his hand in the bowl, and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again." Verse 25, it says, "Strike a scoffer, and the simple will become weary. Reprove one who has understanding, and he will discern knowledge. He who mistreats his father," that's verse 26, "and chases away his mother, is a son who causes shame and brings reproach. 27. Cease listening to instruction, my son, and you will stray from the words of knowledge. Verse 28, it says, a disreputable weakness scorns justice, and the mouth of the wicked devours iniquity. Verse 29, judgments are prepared for scoffers, and beatings for the back of fool. And beatings for the back of fool. I'll talk about two verses in this chapter, then we end for today. The first verse I want us to talk about is in verse 21. Verse 21. It says, there are many plans in a man's heart. There are many plans in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord's counsel that will stand. The Lord's counsel that will stand. There are many plans in a man's heart. I know by now you have a whole lot of plans in your heart. You want to become this, you want to do this, you want to accomplish this by age, this. All these things are in your heart. All these things are in your heart. But he says, nevertheless, the Lord's counsel that will stand. You should always seek to know the Lord's counsel. What is God saying about my plans? Yes, you draw the plans yourself. Yes, but God plan, God's counsel, God's God looks at your plan and say, maybe this your plan is either going to destroy you. It's going to destroy you. So I'm going to remove this from your plan. Maybe this your plan is not going to end well. So let me remove this from your plan. Maybe this your plan is not according to my plan. It is going to destroy you. So let me remove this. That's his counsel. You should always know the counsel of God on your plans. You should always seek his say on your plans. Yes, you have to write your plans yourself. But what is God saying about your plans? What is God saying about your plans? What that God looks at your plans. God looks at your plans. When you commit your plans to him, he looks at it and decides which one will favor you and him. Which one is good for you and him? Which one leads to a better place? And God chooses that. So he says, his counsel will stand. His counsel will stand. His counsel will stand. If God says, follow this, no matter the things you go through, it will stand. It will stand. No matter whether God doesn't really have plan B. So if God's plan is always going to stand, no matter the circumstance, no matter the situation, it's always going to stand. It's always going to stand. There are many plans in your heart, but always seek for the counsel of God, because his counsel will always stand. 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 And the next verse I want us to talk about is we'll talk about verse 4. Verse 4. It says, wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his friend. Wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his friends. This verse is very important and we get to learn a lot. Wealthy people have a lot of friends. Yes, they may not everyone can be close to them, but everyone considers them as their friend. Everyone wants to be friend someone who is wealthy, someone who has riches, someone who is caring, who gives, someone who is dependable. If you need something, you can go to that person and that person will provide for you. That's the person people like to be friend. But the poor has nothing to offer. Even his friends will be separated from him. His friends will be separated from him. So don't seek to be poor. Poverty is not part of Christianity. God didn't Jesus didn't bring up the church for the church to entertain poverty. No, the church is not supposed to entertain poverty. The church is supposed to be a wealthy place. The church is supposed to be a place where people, when they come, they don't live the same way. When they come with, they need something, they don't live the same way. When they are in debt, the church can help. When their house is destroyed, the church can help. When their health is not at the right place, the church can help. The church can help. But if the church is in poverty, if it's in poverty, people will not enter the church. People will not like to be in that church. And remember that the church is not the building, the church is the people. You are a church. The Bible makes us to understand that you are a temple. Your body is the temple of God. So the church and everyone should seek to be wealthy. Should seek to be wealthy and not be in poverty. And not be in poverty. Don't desire to be poor, because poverty is not holy. Poverty is not holy. Poverty is even a curse. In the book of Deuteronomy, it tells us poverty is a curse. Poverty is a curse. So seek to be wealthy. Seek to be wealthy. Seek to be rich. And work towards it. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you tomorrow for Proverbs chapter 20. Proverbs chapter 20. Bye.